let me ask you this, with this idea
of
the government telling people when they can't and can't have children. How would such a system work? Would it be as the same kind of system where they have in China, where they actually penalize people when they, where they don't, where they have more kids than they're supposed to have by government decree? Which, incidentally, that law that they put into place in China, although it had some of the desired effects, unbeknownst to the people who put it into place, it had a lot of undesired effects down the road, where now to the point in China you have an epidemic of kidnappings, people killing their babies, getting sonograms so they can decide whether or not to have this baby, whether it's a boy or a girl. You have a lot of unexpected results from this law that they put into place, which basically determined, when you can have a baby and when you can't have a baby. And incidentally, I might add that China is a communist country, which this is not. So if you want to get into, the overall sort of power of the government to interfere in absolutely every tiny minutiae aspect of people's lives.
Interfere in everything.
Well, what you're talking about is something extremely personal. I mean, we're talking about something extremely personal. I mean, when you're talking about sex, procreation, relationships, parenting, these are the things that are form
you can have all the sex you want in the world.
The most personal core of our lives. These are the things that are most personal to us as individuals. And once you start saying that the government can decide how, when, who gets to do these things, and I mean, raising a family, the government has to give you permission to raise a family. I don't think it has any place in a country, a country that's not, frankly, a dictatorship or a communist regime.
Well, the government regulates a lot of other things.
The government regulates things for the greater safety and good of the entire population. What you're talking about is regulating something that is extremely personal in a particular situation for a particular person.
I don't think it's personal when you find babies in the garbage.
Of course.
I don't think it's personal when the foster care system is overcrowded with all these unwanted children that are just left there, pretty much.
The problem is
that
you have unwanted children, but the problem is not that the government should be giving licenses to me and you and everybody else to decide whether they want to have kids. Yeah, we have to deal with unwanted children, but every society has to deal with unwanted children. Absolutely every society. China, the country that you're holding up as an example for what we should be doing, deals with unwanted children. So you can't avoid having unwanted children and children in the garbage, as tragic as those things are, or even children with bugs in their hair, as tragic as all of those things are. You're not going to be able to circumvent those problems by saying, okay, let's control who has babies and who doesn't. And furthermore, if such a policy was put into place, exactly how would they decide who gets to have babies and who doesn't get to have babies? Have you actually considered that? Have you put some thought into it?
Well, there has to be some kind of criteria. First of all, you can't be on drugs. You can't be 13 years old, first of all. And then you have to be financially able to take care of these children.
So not just the financial cutoff be for people who I mean, some people take perfectly good care of their children and they have very little financial resources at all. They're just resourceful and they manage to take care of their kids.
Yeah, that's fine.
So then what would the cutoff be?
Well, I don't have something in front of me that says this is the criteria. Obviously, that's something that has to be thought out. But I just think that there should be some
it's easy to say it's something that would have to be thought out sometime in the nebulous future, but when you actually start analyzing and thinking about how such a program would work, you can see there are a lot of moral problems with trying to install such a program. I mean, even if you were like...
Very, very nice. Very good discussion. As I normally say, I think you're right. And I think you're right. And the question is, who do you think is right?